If you live where there's lots of speed cameras, this is what you need in your man cave or woman cave. A different plate for each camera. Hey, it worked for me. This one might not fool anybody though. For years I've been calling Hyundai, saying, hey, I want a Veloster with a turbo. Send it. Year after year I got nothing. But today I got something. It's behind this door. We're going to roll it out. It's a brand new 2019 Hyundai Veloster Turbo. Finally. And as a bonus, it's the coveted N version. Top of the line. Says so right here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first I want to take a look at this rig. Very nice looking. Love this blue paint too. Attractive view from the side. There are three basic engines in the Veloster lineup. First is the economy 2-liter, 147 horsepower. Gets up to 38 mpg on the highway. Next up is a 1.6 turbo, putting out 201 horsepower. Then we have this N turbo, puts out 250 horsepower unless you order the performance package. That will boost it up to 275 horses. The performance package also includes larger brakes, wheels, and tires. A performance exhaust system, as we see on the outlets on the left and the right. A limited slip differential, which is down there somewhere where we can't see it. And a custom drive mode. We'll look at that when we get inside the cabin later. At $2,100, the performance pack is a must-have option. Who'd want to buy a car like this without it? And if you're curious about the total cost of the vehicle, I have the price sticker right here. Here's a list of all the standard equipment you get on the N model. It's long, so I won't read it off. Just put it on your screen. So we'll take the beginning price at the $2,100 for the performance package. And there's the total bill. Pardon my shaky hand, but all my tripods broke and I just haven't replaced them yet. For those who care, this is a genuine Korean car, which means it's made in Korea. It says so right here. For those of you who are not really familiar with the Veloster, it has a feature you will not find on any other car. For instance, on the left side, we have one door, making it a coupe, like so. Yet on the right side, you get two doors, turning it into a sedan of sorts. The advantages and disadvantages of this have been debated for a long time since the car came out. I'm not going to go there. In a way, it is kind of neat. You have the storage capacity on the right side, but ease of entry and exit on the left side. I guess that was the idea. Seems to work for me. Bottom line, the Veloster is selling quite well, a good money maker for Hyundai, so I don't think they really care about the critics. So let's take a jump in the cabin, see what we have. And yes, I know it's dirty in there. It's been raining all week. There's mud everywhere. No emails, please. We can start with the complaints I get on many cars. The infamous dirt shelf. All this bodywork collects dirt. Gets on your pants when you step out, so you need to keep some rags around. Wipe this off unless you want to do it with your pants, like I've been doing. Keep it clean. On the positive side, we get a nice large glove box. A very simple to use climate control system. Instead of those horrible electronic parking brakes, we get a real manual brake, the way it should be on all vehicles, but unfortunately is not. The infotainment screen's not the biggest on the planet, but large enough for me. An excellent gauge cluster. Lots of useful information in between the two gauges, by the way, at a press of a button. You can have any transmission you want as long as it's a 6-speed manual. No automatic on this Performance N version. Another item on my complaint list are the sun visors. They fold to the side, but they don't slide back and forth, so on a sunny day, all that heat is going to get through the window right on your face. How much trouble is it to design sliding sun visors? It costs absolutely nothing extra. All they have to do is do it. But they didn't. Another gripe, there's no spare tire, just a cheesy patch kit, which will not do you any good if you have a cut sidewall. The factory says they do this to save weight because it's a performance car. Yeah, I can see their point, but they're saving a few bucks in production costs too. Wink, wink. If you're going to take interstate trips, I suggest you get a tire and toss it back here. Alright, we're done with the show and tell. Second half of the video, we're going to do some driving, get some fuel economy figures. And as always, one of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is take the headlights out and see how they perform. So let's see what these LEDs are capable of. It's dark enough, let's take these headlights out and see what they do. Look bright enough to me. Here we have the low beams on a building 100 feet away. Very bright, good height. Very strong lights actually. Let's go to high beam. Powerful enough, we'll take it to a longer distance and see what they do. Here are the high beams on a building 300 feet away. A good wide spread, good height. Not the brightest I've ever seen, but will do. Go to low beam. Barely reaches out. So we have great lights for the city on low beam. If you need more, the high beam is more than adequate, so no complaints really. The interior illumination isn't the most exciting I've seen, but adequate. On backcountry roads, these headlights do an excellent job of lighting up the road signs along the way. Here I have the high beams on, but even going to low beams, you can see these signs a half a mile away. Can't complain about that. These headlights do an excellent job if you're driving on backcountry roads with tight curves. Actually, the car itself's doing pretty good on these tight curves. Sticking in the road like glue, I'm very impressed. Driving on these curved roads is fun, but we need to get back to our main automotive test. We'll have lots of other driving coming up later on the video. Lots of driving. This is fun. I like it. Before we start driving, there are a couple of items you need to be familiar with. First of all, the drive mode. That's the button here on the steering wheel. Gives you normal, sport, or eco. Who would want eco in a car like this? Well, somebody, I guess. Then on the right, you have your launch control program. We'll be using that a little bit later. As we do in all our vehicle tests, we take speed bumps around 25 miles per hour to see how the suspension performs on impacts. We're going to do that here in the normal mode. Here comes bump number 1. Not bad. A lot of thumping noises as you would expect on a short wheelbase. Number 2. Here comes number 3. Here comes the nasty one. Hang on. Not bad at all. I'm impressed. Let's take this on our turning circle in second gear. See what happens. Got some body lean. This is front wheel drive, by the way. But sticking to the road pretty good. I'm trying to spin it out, but just not going to happen. I think it passed. I'm impressed with the power steering. I'm told it's electric. It does feel hydraulic. If you put it in the sport mode, it seems to be a bit heavier. I don't think there will be too many complaints about this system. In driving this vehicle, there are a couple of annoying traits I've noticed. Number one, the way the dash reflects in the windshield. You see all this up in here. Not a deal killer, just annoying when the sun hits the car at certain angles. You'll get used to it. I did. So whether a sloppy or precise gearbox, it's going to get a good workout either way, because we're going to rack up a lot of miles to get some fuel economy figures. Let's see how this vehicle performs. I certainly can't complain about the passing power. No, I certainly can't. One thing I like about city-run bus systems is the high caliber of people you meet there at the bus stops. Look at all that nice trash. I've been trying to get the launch control program activated. Not much luck. This is an early production car. I was told Hyundai disconnected this feature on some of the early vehicles for journalists. So I suspect it's not there. But I was able to pull up the program, setting the engine, rev matching, exhaust sound, suspension, steering. I put it all in sport mode for maximum performance. All at the press of a button. Let's do a quick 0 to 60 run with the traction control on. We really don't need launch control. Let's do another one, but with the traction control off. And I have my Budweiser racing pants on, so I know we're going to go quick. Nice brakes, by the way. It doesn't take much to heat this clutch up. If you drive this vehicle hard, I suspect the Hyundai dealer is going to be selling you lots of clutch plates. By the way, for the past 117 miles, we've been driving in heavy city traffic, a lot of acceleration tests. So this 17.6 mpg really isn't that bad. We will have some fuel economy testing on freeways coming up. So don't go away. We're going to put the trip computer on 0, take a freeway trip, see what type of fuel economy we can get. We'll be averaging around 70 to 75 miles per hour. We're reaching the end of our trip. We're going to pull over and see what the fuel economy figures are. Well, there you go, almost 28 miles to the gallon. Close enough. I think that's the best we're going to see. This is an excellent road cruiser if you like taking trips on backcountry roads, especially when there's no traffic and no one to bother you. Open this baby up. This is the car to get. Especially if you have everything clicked in the sport mode. I see we're driving in a lot of snow. Not exactly encouraging when you're driving on Pirelli summer tires that need to stay dry. Guess we'll just have to be careful, won't we? And I'm the most careful driver on the planet. All of the big name car publications claim this vehicle has a top speed of 168 miles per hour on the racetrack. If you disconnect the electronic nannies. I don't know if that's true, and I'm not going to try it on the street, but the high-speed stability is definitely excellent. Absolutely. More water and more snow. Just exactly what we don't need. I can say without any reservations, this is one of the best handling vehicles I've ever driven. Especially if you put it in the sport mode and get these Pirelli tires. It really sticks to the road. In fact, in the past month, I've driven some expensive German sports machines in the $80,000 to $100,000 bracket. And this will easily match them, at least as far as cornering goes, if not horsepower. Obviously, someone in the Hyundai engineering department's been doing their homework, and more important, doing their job. This car just loves to go hard. Love it. Well, judging from all the snow I'm running into, I think it's time to cancel our high-performance trip and scoot back to town. According to the EPA, this vehicle should average 22 miles per gallon. In the past 370 miles, I've been averaging 21 miles to the gallon. Pretty close. And since I'm reaching my goal of 400 miles, it's time to wrap up this video. So now that we've completed 400 miles of driving, there are a couple of features I'd like to share with you. First of all, the owner's manual says you have to use 91 octane premium fuel. So there should be a sticker on here telling you that, but there's not. So I'm wondering how many people are putting in the wrong octane. As I said before, this is an early production car, but I am hoping that the later production cars have a sticker on here telling you the proper fuel to use. Number 2, the 6-speed manual transmission. I did happen to watch some YouTube videos, other testers that were evaluating the Veloster Turbo-N. And these guys were so young, they were hardly old enough to shave, very little experienced millennials, telling me what a great gearbox this was, very short throw, very precise. No, that's not the case. Long throws, clunky, not precise. They don't know what they're talking about. It's apparent to me Hyundai probably borrowed this transmission off one of their other EconoBox cars in order to save money, and I can understand that. And in all fairness, after driving this for a week, it's really not that bad. In fact, I got used to it quite well, but precise, no. Usable, yes. And I'm sure you'll get used to it too. Hey, you can't get an automatic. It's the only choice. As far as this vehicle itself, I'm very, very impressed. But I'm not surprised. Not long ago, Hyundai went to Europe, hired a bunch of top engineers from the European car companies, said, do your magic, and that's what they're doing on cars like this. In fact, I hired one of the engineers from BMW who used to do the M-Series cars, and I think some of his magic rubbed off on this vehicle. If you take the 30 grand sticker price, the fact that Hyundai dealers usually discount, and the long warranty, and the performance, this looks like a real winner, and I think they're going to sell a lot of these. If you've been going down to the Honda dealer and pricing some of those hot rod Civics they have down there at the high price tags, and you can't afford it, go down to the Hyundai dealer and check this out. You might find it a better choice.